Hey y'all, this is Third Eye Bell in the house. Welcome back to my channel. Some call me Jamila. I am a professional muse. I'm a light worker. All of the titles that everyone has. I'm an alchemist. First and foremost, um, I am new to YouTube, and this recording business is driving me bonkers. To be perfectly honest, I gotta get used to it. And I'm not gonna be editing on here. And I must say, I can ask, and you can say, why should I follow you? Why should I listen to your station? Why should I listen to what you have to say? And I'm just gonna say this. We all each are individuals. We all have our own stories. We all have education, knowledge, intuition. Everybody has that. It's regular. But what I say is that it's me. This is my story. This is my journey. What I share with you is about my life, my experiences, and I assist people. I'm a professional muse. I make a living off of assisting them on their journey to make a decision, make a choice, find a purpose. Go ahead and do that new project. It's okay. You're not a bad person. I help you to see something that perhaps you didn't vision about yourself. An idea that maybe sparked from you hearing a word that I may have spoken. And a lot of people may do that, but they're not me. We're all individuals. And that is all I can sell to you. And that word is self. I heard someone talking about that tonight when I was listening to YouTube on channel Understandings, Seven Bomar, and he mentioned that word, sell. Everybody, it has a lot of meanings. But what he was explaining is that it's a vibration. It's selling. It goes with the wind. It's movement. And I'm not trying to sell myself to you. I'm trying to be one with you that we can grow and sail together. Okay? I'm going to be on here really quick. Like I said, I go live. And I have a live on YouTube. I mean, not YouTube. I need 500 followers to go live on YouTube. That's a new thing. I don't even know when that happened. But I go live on Instagram and I go live on Facebook on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And then I also go live on full moons and different moon cycles. So check me out there. And I have a book club. So it is Wednesday. So it's my Wisdom Wednesday. It's a new moon or Witchy Wednesday, whatever preference you prefer. And what I do is I read. I have a book club. And the book that we're reading is Living Untethered. And the summary, I'm going to summarize this week, is we're working with the heart. It's a new moon. You want to plant a new seed. You want to heal your heart. Now, last week I talked about our heart opening and closing in this book. This week, what the discussion was in the book was the dance of the energy flow, how energy flows. And what the author was describing in this book, and I'll just sum it up. Let me put on my glasses real quick, is this. He starts off by saying this. There is a very important interaction between energy flow and your blockages. So what this chapter was about is the blockages that we have based on our past experiences, what they call the samskaras. And these are experiences that we have, good or bad. Then we store it in our memory bank. And once we store it in our memory bank, it then becomes the things that determine what our preferences are in life, the things, our likes and our dislikes, how we want to move with people, choosing if we like this person based on this reason or we don't like this person based on that reason because of our experiences. So the author breaks it down for us is that us having these experiences, making preferences, um, determining things based on our personal opinion actually hinders our life to have these preferences. He then says clearly here, you are not in charge of your life when you live by preferences, but your past impressions are in charge of your life. They run your life. And this is not a good thing. So what he's describing, this is chapter 23. I recommend you highly go and get this book. Read along with this. Finish the book with this. Put it in your library. It is beneficial for learning. And that is why I'm going through this lesson in this book, and particularly on this new moon cycle. Plant the new seed. Let's go through this really quick. He says here, if you work on yourself, there will come a time when you will fully understand your heart, when you have let go of enough blocked energy patterns. He says you'll begin to experience so much energy flowing inside that you will understand firsthand what the Bible means when it says, out of his heart will flow rivers of living water. This is John 7:38, New King James Version. And yes, I do use the Bible in my spirituality because I'm free to do so. I don't go to a church. The church is everything for me, and it is everywhere. Okay? So if you're not with this, then you're not going to be interested in this that I have going on here. So I have to share that. But I do use the Bible, and I read scriptures. I work magic through the book of Psalms, and I use the scriptures all the time. So I just want to openly share that with you. He then goes on, this is the book though that we're working with tonight. He then goes on and says, there will be a stand-up flow of energy coursing through your entire system when you are really open. It will flow out various energy centers like your heart, the points of your eyebrows, and your palms. And I'm stopping for a minute. All of this, all of that, your third eye, your heart, your palms, they all resonate powers of energy. They all push energy through. We work through this. That's how you can have your aura. Okay? He then goes on and he's trying to explain in this chapter, the state of your heart is dependent upon your past experiences, what you feel. Was it good or bad? Your heart is activated at any given time based on a past experience. He then goes to say, we have obstacles in this energy flow, and it'll create a disturbance in our energy flow. And all of us have this. This is not just for certain people. We all have disturbances in our energy flow based on our preferences. So in summary, what I'm sharing here tonight is this. He used an example of you're hanging out with your lover, and your lover says something to you that really hits you or pisses you off. And what he's saying is that your heart then no longer feels the love. Instead, you're going to feel fear, anger, or jealousy. And he's saying these disturbing energy patterns are a direct result of shoving blockages in your heart's energy flow. Okay? And this is not good. We want to work on this. He says all these emotions are the same energy manifesting differently depending upon the nature of the blockages being hit. He says, just look at all the names we give our different emotions. Okay, so think about that. He then goes on to say this. We've discussed the energy flow hitting one blockage. That was just one example that he gave. What if we have several blockages? That means that we have a smorgasbord of emotions and energy that is flowing through us. And a lot of it could be bad. It's stifling and stopping us from flowing energetic and vibrationally out, sharing our love, sharing an openness and opinion that can help ourselves and help others, is where he's summing up. He's saying, unfortunately, things can get even worse when you have a lot of complex energy stuck inside you. He says, these emotions are so powerful and they are complex that we can have a love-hate relationship with something because you have a pattern inside you that can generate energy flows at different times. Okay? He's talking then about our past experiences that's doing this, affecting our energy flow and holding on to them. He then goes to say, unfortunately, once again, it can get even worse. At some point, enough bad samkaras, as it's called, bad energies, can be shoved into the heart so much that you can become totally blocked. Your heart can be blocked completely if you are not careful and aware of this. He says then you can become tired and completely uninspired. Okay, now this is speaking. That's when we start getting things where we become, mad all the time. We can't get our work done. We become depressed. We become fearful. We don't want to be around people. We can't handle it. Because we can't heal. We have the energy blockages that are just too much now. He then goes on to say, our natural flow is really uplifting, energetically. It's natural. But what then happens, he says, is that we get stopped up like a dam. It could peek through and cracks can come through. Sometimes you may feel a little up. You'll find some joy, your light, your flow. But then you'll get that blockage that you have in there once someone says something to you to piss you off, or something happens that makes you unhappy, or it doesn't go the way you want it to go, then you stop the flow once again. So you can't flow. It's not consistent flow, the author is summarizing. He then says, what happens with this, that we become moody. This is how moods are created, and then you can't be trusted, he says, to remain steady in your behavior. You become wishy-washy, he's saying, in your behavior. He then goes on to say, you become very narrow-minded when this happens, when you move this way, he's talking about. He says, your entire personality is based now on this energy flow, based on your blockages, on your preferences, based on your belief systems, is what he sums it up to say. He says this then affects our ability to feel love, joy, and inspiration. Okay? That is what determines our blockages. We have to break those blockages because it blocks the ability, once again, to feel love, joy, and inspiration. He then says our heart is sensitive, and we know it's sensitive. We are sensitive beings. Our heart is really what is the driver of who you are as a human. And know that and believe that the things that you feel at your heart, the stuff that's damaged it and blocked it, we're going to learn how to clear that. That's why I'm here, to help us to guide through that. All of us, even myself. This weekend, I just went through an experience because I had some things happen in my life that I had preferences that blocked my heart, that I hadn't healed for some things. So, I came into situations and I'm like, hey, I'm not trying that because I remember what happened over here. It's not good for any of us to do that. So let's work together. He then goes on to say, we want to pay attention to this. Otherwise, you're going to let the opening and closing of your heart run your life. He says, if you're talking to someone and they start discussing a subject that you have blockages about, your heart may start to close. And your reaction is to walk away and avoid that person in the future. He then says, the blockages are running your life. Similarly, the opposite, he's saying, if someone starts talking to you about a subject that opens you up, all of a sudden, they're your best buddy, and you want to hang out with that person. They inspire you. They getting you going. He's also saying that can be risky and dangerous because you're moving on emotion based on your past experiences, okay? I'm going to go into this deeper in other videos. So let's wrap this up. What he's saying then is this. Don't let your heart, past experiences that hurt your heart or excited your heart, either way, run your life. And that is not spiritual. He says, you're not being true to yourself. You're being true to your blockages. That's all your psyche. So basically he's saying, that's our ego. We're going into our egos once again. Our preferences, our belief systems. We want to get out of that and think about things a different kind of way. And if you stay with me and roll with me at Third Eye Bell, I'll guide you there. We're going to do it together. Some of these things, I'm reading this book for the first time myself. I'm working on it. I'm working on some of it. A lot of this I do have control over based on my experience. But there are things that we run across that are suppressed in us that come out based on something that happens with someone else. And I'm working on that as well, okay? He then goes on, he says, your psyche is the net result of all your blockages and how the energy manages to flow through them. He says, as the fluctuation in the energy flow causes your heart to change, your thoughts will change. It's actually very sad, he says, because you will end up lost in there. Those stored blockages will dominate your life, and that is no way to live. So sum this up, he goes even deeper, and I'm going to close with what he's saying is this. These energy patterns that we have stored, we want to have them free flowing. So let's work at clearing the blockages once again. He goes so deep even into say this. You want to be in one consciousness. Because what you are doing is creating an inner dialogue with yourself. And you're creating an inner dialogue when you're with other people or in different situations. He's talking about an example of you go to your high school reunion or you go to your hometown and you remember things that happen, experiences that happen to you, good and bad. And you get in the formation on how you used to act back then. Or this is me speaking. I said I'm summary. Or you go and you try to avoid the person that made you feel bad back then in the day because of the past experience. Someone that may have changed, they may have grown, may have elevated, may be of assistance to you in the present. So what he's driving us to do is to be in one consciousness, conscious, aware of self. He's asking you to be the integrated seer, a single witness, watching. Be the watcher of self, of yourself. Okay? Watch your emotions. Watch the things that are passing through you. That's being centered, he's explaining. He says, then you will become clear when you are the seer. Integrated seer is what he uses. Remember that term. Integrated seer. Single witness to self. You know, he then goes and he starts to close with this. When you're having these dialogues with yourself, you then become a different person. You start to create different personalities. And this was really deep to me to read this. He says, people in that particular state struggle to find themselves. They feel they must choose which personalities are really them. He then is saying, none of the personalities that you have to be around people are you. You're choosing to be this way based on your past experiences. He says, please don't pick any of them and don't let those choices determine your life. None of your thoughts are more you than the other thoughts. You are the one who is experiencing the thoughts. There's not a single thing about those shifting energy patterns that is you. And he's closing to say, and we'll continue on with this later, that it is certainly difficult knowing what you do when you are in commotion going on, when your inner commotion is going on. The only lasting solution is to realize that it's the same you noticing all of it. The same self, you yourself, you're noticing all the commotion going on inside you, he's saying. You're the one who is aware that your thoughts and emotions are shifting. It happens to us all the time. So he's basically saying here in the end, just relax and be the one who notices you. Be the one who sees the many emotions that are building up inside of you. And that is called self-realization. Okay? So I'm closing this to say, we want to move to self-realization. We want to move to see who we are. My granddoggy's coming over here to sit with me. See who we are. Be in that consciousness of self. Be aware that your emotions are shifting based on your circumstances, based on your environment, based on the conversations that you're having with others. And take a look at it and try to adjust it as best you can. We'll talk about this further. But I want to tell you this. You are love. Understand, understand, overstand. I am that I am. You are you. You are living in this body, conscious of who you are. Know thyself. Be aware of thyself. Make the shift. Plant a new seed. It's a new year. Start over. Okay? I want to thank you, anyone who sees this now as I post it. And if you see it later, I thank you for your time. I send blessings to you all. I'm Third Eye Bell. Thank you for joining me. Please like and follow me. This is G, my granddoggy. He loves attention. I want to thank you. Peace. I'm out.